Well, good evening. It's going to be a very quick introduction to this video. I'm currently at Cockfosters. It's 21:51 in the evening on a Friday night. I'm heading down to Terminal 4. What I'm going to do is, on this video, the plan is to film probably from Barons Court down to Hounslow West, and then the same in reverse. It'll be dark, we'll be stopping at Turnham Green both ways. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do for this video. We'll see how we get on. I'll catch you later. Yeah, hello, welcome back. We've just popped out the tunnel. Barons Court station's just ahead of us. So I think I said when I was at Cockfosters, we're going to do a little night video. Try and mix it up. So we'll go from here. As long as no driver wants to get in the cab, we'll go down to Hounslow West, and then probably do the same on the return. So this is Barons Court, westbound fast. Sorted. So I've just turned the air conditioning off and opened the door, and I'm just standing up for a reason I'll talk to you about in a few moments. There we go. Right, so next stop is Hammersmith. So it is Friday night, I can't remember what time, I'll check when we get to Hammersmith. Either way, it's after 10:30 in the evening, which means we're stopping at Turnham Green in both directions. So the reason I'm standing up is, at Turnham Green, if you're in the seated position, to see your whole train in the mirror on the westbound, you won't be able to open your doors. Now that's due to what's called CSDE. I will talk to you about that a little later in this video. Make sure I stop at this red. So the reason I stand up is that way I can stop just short, because it's a category B platform and it's longer. I can stop just slightly short so that I can open the doors, and then I'll look down the side of the train to close them. It will make sense when I explain the CSDE, and I think we'll do that after Boston Manor. There's a bit of a run down to Osterley, so it'll give me a chance to explain it to you. As someone did ask me today actually about opening the doors the wrong side and things. So let's have a look at the time. Where are we? 22:49. So I was just listening to the digital voice announcer through the handset to make sure that I put the right code in to stop at Turnham Green. It's not the first time I've made a mistake. Right. So Turnham Green is the next stop. So it's not been too busy in town really, but I was quite close to a train in front. So on a video a couple of weeks back, I asked people to send me some dad jokes. Now the problem is I didn't really think it through, because obviously I can't be reading my phone whilst driving the train. So at the moment, off the top of my head, I can only remember one joke, and it's, if I can get it right. So what is the, and this is what someone wrote as a comment, what is the Incredible Hulk's favourite underground station? No one know? Turnham Green. Better not quit my day job, had I? So we've got a red signal just ahead. Now we're not stopping at this station. This is Ravenscourt Park. Signal has changed. Had it stayed red, we would have stopped just out the station, somewhere about here. And that way it stops people trying to board the train or people deciding to force the doors to get off. But we can stop there if there's an issue. If there was a delay ahead, they could call me and say, driver, stop at that station and open your doors. Same with the next one, which is Stamford Brook. Stamford Brook we can stop on the westbound, but we can't stop on the eastbound. So the station starter's on, that's the signal at the end of the platform. So again, if it stays red, we'll stop just short of the platform. So whilst we're crawling along, just tell you about today's duty. So I started just after 5 o'clock this afternoon. I've done Cockfosters, Terminal 5 Cockfosters. We just made an announcement. We've just been held at a red signal, be on the move shortly. Thank you. Yes, I did. Oh, there we go. So I did, yeah, what did I say? Yeah, Terminal 5 Cockfosters. I had a break and then I picked this up at Cockfosters. I'm going to Heathrow Terminal 4, back to Cockfosters and then stable. It's a late one. I stable this at 1:07, finish at 1:30, which means same as the last 2 nights and tomorrow I'll get home about 3 o'clock in the morning. So as we approach Turnham Green, just next to these signals you'll see 2 flashing yellow lights there to remind me that I may need to stop. They do come on a few minutes before 10:30, and again in the morning I can never remember the times because I don't do earlies. So yeah, the 2 yellow lights flashing are just here. I'm just doing about 25. We know we're close to the train in front. So the stopping mark is that diamond in the middle of the track. And we're nowhere near it. Right, give me a moment. So the stopping mark and the mirror don't line up with the CSDE. It's okay on the eastbound, but it's just that west one. Next stop, Acton Town. Now when we get to Acton Town, sometimes there's drivers on the platform who will have a bit of a chat, so if there is, I might just have to cut a little bit of the video out, just because well, they probably all be swearing at me because I get bullied. Some say I deserve it, but you know. In fact, most of them can't believe that I can talk on a video on the train and not swear. Mind you, they don't know what I'm thinking. So station ahead is Chiswick Park. We can't stop here. We used to when we used to be able to run down the local lines. So when I first started 8 years ago, I've stopped here a handful of times in both directions. Town, I always expect to see lots of reds. It's what we call a controlled area. We've got 4 platforms, we've got 4 sidings, 3 on this side of Acton Town and 1 on the other. You've got District Line trains stopping here, Piccadilly Line trains stopping here. Also you've got drivers changing, or trains changing drivers. So yeah, you can often get held round here, but not today. We're going into the fast. So the sidings this side are just on the right hand side. It'll be probably too dark for you to see, but if you watch my Rusty Rail video, you'll see me go in and out of there. And we're clear into the platform. So as I said, if I do have to cut a little bit of this video out and it's missing a bit, I apologise. It's just not fair to other members of staff having their voice and things on the internet. And drivers also are not the best at talking politely to each other anyway. Obviously we're always polite to members of the public. Right, let's have a look. Are we on time? 2300, we'll have a look in a second. Ah, there's no drivers here anyway. We're about 5 or 6 minutes late. Just moved me, just put my seat out so I can sit down. Obviously we've got a red, as that should be showing on there. We want a straight green, so we're just looking for a green. You can get the 3 white lights, the harbour lights, up the branch to go up towards Rayners Lane and Uxbridge. Don't know why we're still here, but anyway. We are being held at a red signal, be on the move shortly. Thank you. The only advantage of running a few minutes late is once I get to Terminal 4 I'll run and use the toilet and then straight back out rather than sit there for 10 minutes. Well, it's usually about 8 or 9, but... I don't know why we're held here. We shouldn't be. So after 2 minutes of sitting at a red signal, we can call the signal and find out what's going on. Just want to make sure it's not a signal failure. I'm sure it's something stupid. Alright, let's see what they say. if they call back. Yeah, train 307 Acton Town westbound faster, just seeing what the delay is over. Yeah, that's all received, appreciate that, thank you, 307 out. There's an issue at Northfield, so yeah, we're stuck here for the moment. Let me just let passengers know. Please accept my apologies for the delay. We are being held at a red signal. There is an issue ahead of us at Northfields. We're just waiting for that to be resolved. Hopefully we should be moving shortly. Should I have any more information, I will come back to you, but for the moment we are just being held at a red signal. This train is for Heathrow's Terminals 4 and 2 and 3. So this will make us late now back to Cockfosters. I will still be going to the toilet at Terminal 4, mind you, just in case you're worried about me. I'm going to leave the camera running, but what I might do is, if we sit here too long, I might just cut out the bit where we're doing nothing. There we go. This train is now ready to depart. Please mind the closing doors. Bloody idiot. Doors are closing and throw themselves in it. It annoys me. Anyway, right. So it might be a little bit slow as we get down towards Northfields. We'll see how we get on. So the other siding that I was on about, you might just be able to tell the track's just going off to the right. It's just in the middle here. You'll see two fixed red lights and a single red light behind it just before the green signal. That's 26 siding. To take this opportunity, thank you all for watching. As always, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification, and as always, give it a like. So if you're new to the channel, this yellow is a repeater. So that's telling me the signal it is repeating, which is the next one, is red. It's just if you come around too quick with the bridge there, you can miss it and you may not stop. In fact, it's got two repeaters. But we're just crawling along. I'm just letting it roll round at about 8 or 9 miles an hour. Hopefully we won't have to stop at it. It looks like we're going to have to stop. So again, if you've not watched all my videos or you're unsure, if we was to pass this signal and it stays red, if you look down on the right hand side of the track, you might just see a little well, it's sort of white arm. It's just gone down now. That's called a train stop. So what would have happened if we'd have passed that and that was red? That arm would have hit the trip cock, which is on the right hand side just behind the cab, and that would have released all the air in the brakes, bringing the emergency brakes on, and then it would be called a SPAD, signal passed at danger. I have in can't remember if it was the last video, I think it was the video before, talked about SPADs. No, actually it might be the video that's coming out, yeah, it might be the video before this, but anyway, whichever. I've talked about SPADs and the different categories. I'm sort of losing track of what videos I've done. So you see we've got more repeaters on. There is a red signal ahead, I can see it. There is a slight downhill gradient towards South towards South Ealing. So usually the signal that's just changed is often red, and the one behind can often be red, so you're used to having to stop here. When it's wet, you've really got to be that little bit more careful, because the wheels can lock up and you can put flats on it and you run the risk of sliding through a signal, and that's the last thing we want. Now sometimes this next red, the moment you stop at it, it changes. Not always. But as far as I'm concerned, we're stopping at it. It's red until it isn't. That's my motto. Oh, there we go. Made me out to be a liar. So station starters on. Oh, there's another train. So just on the left is a Terminal 5 train.
Yes, I 143 with you about it.
Now, in theory, I should be going ahead of that Terminal 5 train because I'm running late. Unless he's even later. Or she. Don't know who was driving it. So this is Northfields. It's 23:11. So I'll have a look how late we are once I've stopped. See who gets the signal first. We're 11 minutes late at the moment. So neither of us have got the signal at the moment. Looks like I'm going to get it. Yeah, there we go. Now sometimes what we do is, with things like that, the other train would send passengers over. The problem is, when you're running late, it's going to delay you another couple of minutes as people move over. So sometimes it's just not worth doing, you just make things worse. I'll close that door at the next station. It's a bit noisy today. We've had a really hot week in the UK. It was 30 degrees the other day. And the UK is not built for extreme heat or cold, because generally we don't get either of them. I know there's people in the Mediterranean and well, Australia and places like that that'll be going 30 degrees. Oh, that's lovely. And also I'm ginger, so I melt. So we got that Terminal 5 1 minute behind us, then another Terminal 4 3 minutes behind that. To be honest, I'm half expecting them to call me up and reverse me, send me straight round to Terminals 2 and 3 and reverse there. They could still do that. If they do, I will record it. We'll just have to play it by ear. Otherwise, I'll call it a day at Hounslow West. Right, let me talk about CSDE, correct side door enabler. So, on the Underground, that's what we use. So what happens is when you pull into a station, if you stop in the correct place, there's some electronics, because that's about as much as I know how it works, that tells the train it's in the correct place, but also telling the train which side the doors can open. So at the last station, obviously the doors are on the left. If I'd have tried opening the doors on the right, they shouldn't open, because the CSDE, correct side door enabler, is telling the train only open on the left, if that makes sense to you. Now, we do have an override button. So like at Turnham Green, as I explained to you earlier, if you see all your train in the mirror, you're not in the CSDE zone, which means you can't open your door, so you have to override it, which I had to do 2 days ago. I had to override it. The problem with overriding it, you can then both open the doors both sides, so you've really got to be careful that you don't open the wrong side. So we have a rule that you'd get out your seat. It used to be called proving the platform. You had to put your foot on the platform, but basically you'd open the cab door, double check that your train's within the platform, hit the override button, and instead of using the open buttons on the console, which I've shown you in a video, use them on the bulkhead. So basically just behind where I'm sat would open the doors on the left side, and if the platform was the other side, I would do it on the other side of the train. That way you don't run the risk of opening the wrong side by mistake. I hope that kind of makes sense. So technically we can open the doors the wrong side, but only if you override it and don't follow the proper procedure for doing so. And someone asked if I'd ever done it, and no, I haven't. It's very rare. I have heard of incidents happening over the years, but I mean really rare. On the Underground anyway. I think National Rail is a bit different, but yeah, so I hope that sort of explains how the doors work. I don't always explain myself clearly, or I forget that just because I know what I'm talking about, other people don't. Especially if English isn't their first language. So we're just coming down into Osterley. We've just gone through Old Osterley, or Osterley and Spring Grove, I think it was. Would be kind of nice if they reverse us at Terminals 2 and 3. Be a nice little treat for you all. Sometimes the problem with doing that though, it can delay trains getting in and out of Terminals 2 and 3. So I'm not going to complain if I just run 11 minutes late. And because we would have had 8 or 9 minutes at Terminal 4, it brings that time down. Although I will run to the toilet, but it's only a couple of minutes. mainly because I'm old. And on these late shifts, I'm doing nothing but drink coffee. Oh, and this is what I hate. It just makes me more tired seeing all these reds. Oh dear, excuse me. Oh. Still, I suppose for some of you it's kind of nice to see it when the service isn't running perfectly, because a lot of these signals, I think I said in one of the other videos, yeah, a lot of these signals, when they're green you don't really notice them. It's only when they're red that you realise how many there actually is, or are, whichever. Where are we? Hounslow East on the west. I'm kind of annoyed, the lights under the platform, they're not all at the same height, and that annoys me. I like symmetry and things like that. I'm a little bit OCD. Even at home, if I put an ornament on the cabinet or something, I've got to have two of the same to try and even it out. Until the cat moves them. So some drivers would stay here, and if you can see in the distance there is a red. Now it's just changed, but there's so many trains stuck behind us. If we wait for two sections to be clear, trains are just going to back up even further. There's only a handful of places where you really need, in my opinion, where you need to wait, mainly between Covent Garden and Leicester Square in both directions, because you run the risk of having part of your train on the platform if you have to stop. Other than that, if it's red, if it's green, sorry, even, then go. It's my motto. Now on the left here is the Blenheim Centre, and I think someone in the comments said that I think they said their old primary school used to be on that. Just to prove that I do read the comments, even if I can't always reply. Hounslow Central. And we're still going to Terminal 4. Hounslow West. Even after 8 years, I still have to think about my Hounslows. Not Hounslow Central, that's easy, but the Hounslow East and West. Because when your mind automatically, if you're going west, calls it Hounslow West, even though it's Hounslow East on the west, and vice versa on the east, Hounslow West East. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on as always. So as I've said probably a dozen times, and I forget what I say because I'm old, as we've discussed, I'm going to cut the video off when we get onto the platform at the next station. Now don't get me wrong, the plan is then when I get back to Hounslow West on the east, I'll put the camera on. But should something interesting happen in the meantime, like they reverse me somewhere or we do a route that we don't normally do, I will turn the camera on and film it, but I will leave the camera in the window. But otherwise, I will see you back on the eastbound if all goes well. Oh, hang on, you might be in luck here. Yeah, 307 at Hounslow West on the west. Pass your message over. Yes, I received reverse 123 over. So there you go. You're gonna stay with me. We're going to terminals 2 and 3. I'll let the passengers know. Where are we going? 2 and 3. What's the code? 44 03, and we're at Hounslow West, which is 41. This is a passenger announcement. Just like to advise all passengers, due to the late running of this service, this train will now not call at Heathrow Terminal 4. It will now terminate at terminals 2 and 3. Passengers for Terminal 4, please change at the next station. Okay, right. Come on. Oh, you're not going to work, are you? So I'll keep you with me. Digital voice announcer won't work. So what I'll change your plans then. So if I take you to 2 and 3, we'll reverse, and then I'll probably take you back to Hatton Cross, and if nothing exciting happens, we'll call it a day there. But again, if I get something like running on the local line between Northfields and Acton, someone's asked me to film that, and it's not something I do very often, but then I'll add that onto the end of the video. I just don't want to keep showing you all the same sort of stuff on every video. Terminals 2 and 3, there is a toilet. I will need to use it, so as we get closer I'll ring them and let them know that I'll be taking a very quick the red signal there. So I've gone straight into service 4. I stopped a long way from it, but because it's rare that you stop here, you forget whether it's near or far. So I'd rather stop 100 yards before it than a yard past it. And then whilst we're doing that, I'll get my bag ready, so as soon as we get to terminal 2 and 3 I can change ends. Once we've stopped. They've just been held at a red signal, be on the move shortly. Thank you. Right. So I can go in there. That's the bag done. Cooey. So there's trains reversing at Hatton Cross in front of us. It's the only problem with reversing. Just delays things even more, especially when you've got to do multiple trains. next signal is just inside the tunnel mouth, so we're going up over the River Crane and down again, and that signal is always red. If there's a train in the platform, then it may not clear at all. So we're just going uphill here. I don't think it quite comes out so well on the camera when you're going up and downhill, especially in the dark anyway. So we're going down. I've just got it in service 1. It's doing about 15 there, off and release. And service 1. So if there wasn't a train ahead, that would have cleared by now. And cleared, I mean go green. So when it's red, we call it signals on. Green, we call it clear. So there's nothing too exciting about reversing at Hatton Cross or 2 and 3. All you do is you either go into the normal platform, change ends and cut across, or you cut across and go into the opposite platform, change ends and run normally. So we'll see what we get when we get there. Obviously this is Hatton Cross. I'm just going to make another announcement to remind the passengers. Passenger announcement, just like to remind passengers, this train will now not be going to Terminal 4. If you do want Heathrow Terminal 4, please change here and await your next service to Terminal 4. This train will be going direct to Terminals 2 and 3. Once again, this train is for Heathrow's Terminals 2 and 3. If I can see on the board when the next Terminal 4 is, I'll let them know. I think it said. Passengers for Heathrow Terminal 4, your next service for Terminal 4 is in approximately 3 minutes, which would be the 3rd train behind us, so just keep an eye on the boards. Right, here we go. So if we was going to Terminal 4, we just have a green signal. Make sure my battery's okay. Yeah, it's fine. So once I've got over this these points, I'll ring the signaller, let them know I'll be taking a very quick PNR, personal needs relief, at Terminals 2 and 3. The reason I'm not doing it just now is 1, because part of the train's still on the platform, and 2, it's 20 mph speed limit. I don't want to be concentrating on speaking and let the speed get up too much. Right, let's see if I can get hold of them. Yeah, train 307 just departed Hatton Cross on the West End, but they need to take a very quick PNR at Terminals 2 and 3 over. Yes, all received. I'll be as quick as I can for you, over. Okay, so they're going to put me in the eastbound. So that is the opposite side. That's what he said, so we'll see if we get it when we get there. So basically we're running in the opposite direction. And what I'll do is as we approach the platform, I'll blow the whistle, because any regulars won't necessarily be expecting the train to come in the opposite direction. And then I'll run to the toilet. He said signal will be clear, ready for me to go back east as soon as I've finished. I should only be sort of, it'll take me 2 minutes by the time I've walked to it. Anyway, it's probably a bit much information. So the next signal is red. You'll have 2 repeaters. There's the first one. Second one's just round this corner. If you're going too fast, the signal will never clear, but just because you're doing the right speed doesn't mean that it will. I'm doing about 16, so if it doesn't, I can stop. In fact, I'm going to slow down anyway, just in case. There we go. I'm going to wind up a little bit. So the next signal should give me the route indicator to the right to go into the eastbound, which looks right from here. I'm just going to double check as we get there. The glare from the green blocks it. Yeah, that's correct. We'll shortly be arriving at Heathrow's Terminals 2 and 3, where this train will terminate. Any passengers of Heathrow Terminal 5, please change over to the platform on the left-hand side. Right, so we would normally go into the platform on the left, and we're going the other way. 25 mile an hour speed limit. So the westbound is off to the left here, and we're going into the east. So again, running the opposite direction effectively. So I just bring the speed down a bit. It's not very busy anyway, but you never know, someone leaning across looking for the train in the opposite direction. Hi, you're right. I'm good. Just setting the train up. I'm sorry I cut it short the other end. He said I'd have a clear signal, but haven't at the moment. Right. This is a Piccadilly Line service to Cockfosters via central London. Let him know I'm ready to go. Yeah, 307 at Terminals 2 and 3. I'm ready to proceed eastbound when you're ready, over. Okay. Come on, work. Okay. This train is now ready to depart. Please mind the doors. So, as I was getting off the train, one of the CSAs, customer service, is it assistant? Anyway, he said he watches. So if you're watching this, I apologise, I didn't have time to chat and I might have come across a bit rude. I didn't mean to be. I just desperately needed the toilet, and I knew there was a train behind waiting to come in the platform. So obviously, it's great that you watch. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I apologise. Maybe another time I see you, we'll have time to have a chat. As I've said probably 100 times, I'll call it a day at Hatton Cross. I'm going to keep the camera in the window but turned off. That way, if anything else interesting does happen between now and going back to Cockfosters, I can just turn the camera on rather than try and fish it out my bag. For argument's sake, yesterday, my first train, I was coming into Arnes Grove and they called me and said cancel it, put it onto the sidings. Problem was I didn't have time to get my camera out because I hadn't got it set up and put it in the window to film going into the siding, so I missed doing that. unfortunately it's not something I do very often, so I try to make sure it's always ready, but also I was too busy chatting to people at work before I started. Anyway, I digress. So that was a little bit interesting for you, something different. And hopefully if you do use the Piccadilly Line, you'll get a bit of an understanding of what can happen. Cross again we could have reversed here, we could have done the same, coming onto this platform in the opposite direction, changed ends, or gone into the opposite platform, changed ends and cut across. Can't remember the last time I reversed at Hatton Cross, so if I do I'll get that in the future for you. So I'll leave this video here. If you don't hear from me again tonight, thank you for watching. Sorry it's all been a bit of a mess, and until next time, take care.